Bonjour everyone! Who's up for a treasure hunt? I want to show you what has been the most exciting discovery here for me. This discovery, I'm not kidding you, has been one of the highlights of my life. As a landscape architect, I've studied gardens throughout history and I was just blown away. When we took our first tour on the property of the abandoned abbey, we went into the large garden, and in the middle was a strange circle that was curved with like a stone curbing, and it had iron railing, and it looked like a corral of some sort. After we bought the property, we didn't think much more of it. We just used that circle space to burn yard waste, and we even designed our first vegetable garden, and we designed it with that circle space in the center, but we didn't do really anything about it. Then one day we decided, okay, we just got to see what's inside. So let's go and dig. So we hired our friend Cedric and his backhoe. So he started to dig, but then all of a sudden he hit something solid. And it was a stone staircase. And he continued to dig, and he got all the dirt and the debris out. And it was this enormous basin, about a little bit over 7 meters diameter and more than 2 meters in height. The walls were constructed in brick. The paving was in terracotta tiles, and the rim was in carved stone. It was an incredible shape for being buried for so many years, and we think it was at least 100 years. But who buried it and why? And there was a gorgeous carved stone spout. So that meant there was a channel buried. There was also another stone spout, it's right behind here, that was constructed inside the perimeter wall. And there was a small square stone basin, but that was all blocked up. So Cedric started digging in between the two stone spouts, and he hit something solid. And it was the paving that covered the channel. I initially thought that the channel was intended to be covered with soil and gardened over, but we removed one of the stones, and I couldn't believe my eyes. The channel was paved also with terracotta, and it was lined with stones, and it was meant to be open. This is called a rill. It's a small open channel that carries water from the source to wherever it's supposed to be carried. It was used for irrigation purposes historically, and also historically it was used for decorative purposes, like at the Alhambra. We uncovered a rill, an ancient rill. Well, I was beside myself. I was so excited to see this. Patrice demoed the thin concrete that was blocking up the small square stone basin. After he did that, it was too small to get a backhoe, so I went in and I dug all the debris out by hand. It was not a very fun job. We unearthed a sediment basin. So this is how they did it. They conserved water by taking water from the street and bringing it in, and the sediment would sink down to the bottom in the basin. The water would rise and go down the channel and then spill out into the larger basin, and then they would use that for their irrigation. But the great thing about it is that every step it became a decorative fountain. It was just beautifully designed. People of the past not only conserved water, but they made it beautiful too. And they constructed things with noble materials. They were genius. We tested it out after all these years being underground, and it worked perfectly. Then the rains came, and we watched it in action. And again, it worked. It was beautiful. Then it filled up, and we discovered the overflow pipe. My ducks discovered the basin, and it became their new home. And the frogs, too, they loved the basin. Wake up! I went nuts. designing a vegetable garden, le potager of my dreams. And our friend Cedric continued to do grading and excavating for me according to the plans until the mayor of the town came. She shut the project down because that hill is part of the 11th century chateau fortress. So they brought in their archaeologists. There went my beautiful plans for my garden. Patrice was elated. I was not happy, but the archaeologists discovered something on that hill. It was way earlier than the 11th century fortress and even earlier than the Gallo-Roman ruins we have in our salon. Patrice will tell you all about it. That's the archaeological site. So that's what we're left with. So we're hoping to build a wall with all these stones to cover that up, just a freestanding wall, and then they can continue behind the wall. So we are restarting the garden, and I'm in the process of doing some plans. I think they're even better than the ones before, and they're simpler, allowing the space for the archaeologists to continue their dig that won't interrupt the vegetable garden. I will show you as I progress on those designs. This is one of the many things I respect so much about our ancestors living once upon a time. They valued and they cherished their resources like jewels. This basin, this whole system is like a treasure chest, and the treasure itself is the water. The time is going to come sooner than we all think that our descendants are going to look back at our time and see how we lived once upon a time. And I think that we really need to focus more on being respectful of our environment and to have them say, wow, I was so proud of our ancestors and what they did to conserve their resources. If you could stick around for a minute and a half, I can show you how to find your treasure.
1 minute 30 and go. 50 or so years ago is not that long ago. Some of my best memories of my life were when a group of family and friends would go camping at Lake Mead. I was so happy. We would just hang out together in the water. We would go water skiing, and it was just magical. Except I was petrified to ski, but I loved going on the boats. Now 50 years have flown by, but we've more than doubled the population of the planet. The world is so different now. Even if you think it's just cyclical, it won't, and it can't go back to the way it was. It breaks my heart to see so graphically what's happening to our water. This is dire. Mad Max Fury Road is not far away. We can do something about it. This is how we can find our treasure, right under the shower head. An average shower head sprays out 2.5 gallons each minute. 1 minute equals 5 days of drinking water. This is the treasure. Water is the treasure. If you think about it, it is way more valuable than all of the diamonds in the world. What good are diamonds if there is no water to drink? And look, you just did it. That was 1 minute and 30 seconds. If we reduced a total of just 1 minute, 30 seconds per week of the shower running, in 52 weeks, you will have saved 185 gallons. Enough water to drink for 1 year. That is incredible. It's so simple. We can do this.